Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are welcome once again to continue from where we stopped with our Alqirā-atur-Rāshida lesson, in which we were discussing the story of Sayyidina Umar and the woman, the mother of the children. So inshallah, in this episode we are going to continue. As I said, I told you I numbered the abiyat and they were about 73. They were like 73 abiyat. Like in verses, there were about 73 verses, and we did 53 of them. So we are left with 20 more abiyat to complete, inshallah. And as I said, to begin today's session, I would like to still call our attention to something I corrected previously, but then I would like to still mention it again. Here, I said that the fa is harf atfa, and then the ila is bimana to finish. Okay, so fa'ila tasabburan bimana his patience diminished. How? Because he was waiting. If you look at it from here, وطال وقوفه في الحي حتى توجس أن يريب به الظنون. He stood there for long. So, but what was happening? He says, Yaminan laysa yabghi al-bayna. Okay, he wasn't seeking to leave the place. He wanted to stand there. Hatta yara al-awlada qad muli'u al-butuna. Until he sees that the children, they are filled up. Their stomachs are filled up. So that means he stood there for long. But then what happened? He says, وَمَا زَالُوا كَذَلِكَ. They kept like that. In the situation they were on, they stayed like that. بِدْعَ سَائٍ تَنْفُخُ فِي الْوُقُودِ. Instead, the situation kept like that. She was blowing into the fire, the fuel of the fire. وَيَصْرَخُونَ. And the kids were crying, they were wailing. This happened for long. The food was never getting ready. So, فَعِيلَ صَبْرًا. And so, فَعِيلَ تَصَبُّرًا. And so his patience was diminished, was reduced. Okay, so that is the meaning of this portion. Ila, from ala, to finish, to kind of be diminished. Okay, so with that we continue from where we ended. We ended with the fa'aimullah. I told you aimullah is a way of swearing. It's like qasaman billah, yani swearing. fa'aimullah malqulalul rawasi كحمل ظلامة المستضعفين. The highest mountain, the heaviest mountains is not as heavy as carrying the burden of the oppression of the weak ones. So when you are a leader and you have the minority amongst you, the weak ones, those who do not have any power, you need to give them power. You need to be their strength. Okay, so inshallah we pick from فَأَزْجَيْنَا الْخُطَى. Azja bimana to egg on, to push on. Okay, azjayna al-khuta. We speed our steps. We increased our steps. Fil mahali. Here it can be fil mahali, fil muhli. I like to give all the angles such that when you are also explaining to somebody, you would be able to give all the angles there is. Normally when somebody writes something and the original person does not completely vowelize everything and give meanings to everything, it allows for several meanings to pop out of that thing. Okay, there is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where the Prophet, somebody came to the masjid and then realized that the prayer is ongoing. The person is almost missing the raka'ah. This is a fiqh issue, a very popular fiqh issue. So the person realized that the prayer is ongoing and might lose. So if you look at the hadith, he says that it is narrated in Sahih Bukhari. He says, أنه انتهى إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو راكع. The Prophet is praying whilst in the ruku, and this person hastened into the ruku. فركع قبل أن يصل إلى الصف. So the person, before even getting to the row, getting to the saf, the person did ruku and entered into the saf with the ruku. And he says that فَذَكَرَ ذَلِكَ لِلنَّبِي صلى الله عليه وسلم, that he mentioned that to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم to know his case. فَقَالَ, and the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم told him, زَادَكَ اللَّهُ حِرْصًا, may Allah increase your attention to the religion, may Allah increase your interest in the religion, because the person was overly interested in getting the rak'ah. That is why the person did that. And the hadith says وَلَا تَعُدْ, وَلَا تَعُدْ. This وَلَا تَعُدْ, I think it is the Maliki people, they read wala ta'du. There is a reading, let me not mention the schools of thought, but then the one school may read is wala ta'ud. Some read wala ta'du. Some read it wala tu'id, the Shafi'iyya. Wala tu'id bimana, do not do it again. Wala ta'ud bimana, wala tu'id bimana, do not repeat the raka'ah. Wala ta'ud bimana, do not repeat this action again. Wala ta'du bimana, do not run. So because of the word ta'ain dal, they read it with all these vowels, and this causes a difference in rulings, in fiqh rulings. This is just to tell us that when somebody writes a text and there is a room for other several explanations, we like to give all angles. So when you look at the word fil muhli, it reads fil muhli, it reads fil mahali, mim fataha, ha fataha, or muhli, mim dhamma and ha sukun. Muhl is an appointed time. Okay, that's why we say mahalan, yani take your time, mahalan. So if I say amhilhu, amhilni yawman, yani give me a respite period of a day. If you are coming to take your money from me, then I tell you amhilhi, amhilni yawman, amhilni ila gad, give me the respite period till tomorrow. So muhl is an appointed period. That is basically time. Or mahal, mahal, which is at-taqaddum fil khair, yani movement towards good, doing something good. Mahal. So we can say فَأَزْجَيْنَا الْخُطَى فِي الْمَهَلِ, we hastened our steps in doing good. Okay? Or فَأَزْجَيْنَا الْخُطَى فِي الْمُهْلِ, we hastened our steps in the time. I would prefer the mahali. We hastened our steps towards doing good, because the meaning fits better. He says حَتَّى طَوَيْنَا مِنْهُ قَاحِلَةً شَتُونَ, قَاحِلَةً شَتُونَ, until tawayna, from tawa, and tawa comes with the meaning of fold. But then when we use tawa for distance, it means you covered that distance, you crossed that distance. So hatta tawayna, ay bimana, until we crossed a qahila. Qahila is a barren land, a land that is not fertile, basically a land, until we crossed a land. Shatuna, shatuna is a far distance. When we say with regards to safar, with regards to a trip, with regards to a journey, you are doing something, the shatuna there becomes the farther distance you aim at. Okay, when you check al-ma'ani, it gives you several angles, but then these words, when you try to find the meaning in dictionary, you don't just go for the meaning, but then you also try to couple it with the context. Okay, so when we say safarun shatunun, bimana ba'idul maqsad, safarun shatunun, when you look at al-ma'ani Arabi, you find that safarun shatunun mean safarun ba'idul maqsad, a trip that is very far, its goal is far. So let's say I'm in Ghana here and I aim at going to somewhere Australia, somewhere America. It's a trip that the destination is far. Okay, so we can say that حتى طوينا منه قاهلة, until we covered a distance of a barren land, or a distance of a land, we covered a space of land. Shatuna, in this quest of us that is very far. Okay, so they hasten their steps towards this good deed that they are doing until they covered a distance that is far. They covered a distance towards their far intent, or until they covered a very wide distance. Okay. He says, فَأَدْرَكْنَا الْعَجُوزَ عَلَى قَتَادٍ. قَتَادٍ. Please be vowelizing where there is no vowels. This is shatuna. Shatuna. Shin fatha. Okay. And here is qatadin. فأدركنا العجوز على قتاد, we saw the old woman, or we caught up with the old woman على قتاد. She was on a thorny bed, or a bed of thorns, a bed that is made up of thorns. Okay, it's not comfortable to lie upon. وقد أغضت من التعب الجفون, and she had closed her eyelids due to tiredness. She was not sleeping. She was sleepless because her children haven't eaten. So she had just closed her eyelids. She has just put them together due to tiredness. وجفت قدرها فوق الأثافي, and by then جفت قدرها, the pot had become dry because the water in it, the boiling water in it, is finished. جفت قدرها, the pot has become dry. فوق الأثافي, upon that tripod fire, the 3 stones that we cook upon. فكان ثمالها كدرا وطينا. The word again, as I said, let's be vowelizing, is thumal. Okay, thumal. Because when you say thimal, it is a resort. Okay, in the praises of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you hear thimalul yatama ismatul lil aramili. Thimalul yatama, a resort for the orphans. Ismatul lil aramili, a protection for the widowed women. So thimal is a resort, but this is thumalatun. Its singular is thumalatun. Thumalatun means a residue, a remaining portion of a drink is thumalatun. Okay, the remaining portion, that is the residue. So فَكَانَ ثُمَالُهَا, the thumal of the kidr, now the water is finished, is dried up. The residue was kadaran, was dirty, dirt. The under part of the pot is dirt, watinan, and sand. Okay, it says فَأَفْرَغَهَا, afraga, to empty. فَأَفْرَغَهَا, who is the final of the afraga here? Umar, Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu anhu. فَأَفْرَغَهَا, he emptied the kidr, the pot. He emptied the pot. وَأَفْعَمَهَا دَقِيقًا, and he filled it. أَفْعَمَ is the opposite of afraga. أَفْعَمَ, to fill, F-I-L-L. He filled it with flour. أَفْعَمَهَا دَقِيقًا, he filled it with flour. بِيُمْنَاهُ, with his right hands, or with his hands. With his own hands, he filled the pot. He emptied the pot and filled it with the flour. وَدَسَّ بِهِ السُّمُونَ, dassa bimana, to put into, to insert into. Dassa, to insert into. وَدَسَّ بِهَا السُّمُونَ, he inserted the oil into the flour. He poured the oil into the flour. This dassa, that is what creates the word dasisa for us. Dasisa, conspiracy, plotting, scheming. Because when you are doing in plotting, scheming, you insert a spy somewhere, that is planning something underneath. So when we say the word dassa, is to insert something, to put something into another. It says وَدَسَّ بِهِ السُّمُونَ, and he bihi ay biddaqiq, or bilqidr, he poured the oil into the flour. وَكَادَ الْوَقْدُ تَحْتَ الْكِدْرِ يَخْبُو. Okay, the fire under the kidr, kada yakhbu, was almost dying out, was almost getting abated. Khaba is from the verb khaba, to be abated, to die out. So wakada yakhbu al-waqdu tahta al-kidri, the fire beneath the pot was almost dying out. That is the waqad. Wakada al-waqad, that is the singular of the wukud. Wakada al-waqadu, or the waqad itself is just a name for fire generally. Wakada al-waqadu tahta al-kidri yakhbu, the fire underneath the pot was almost dying out. فَأَوْلَجَ فِي بَقَايَاهُ غُصُونًا. أَوْلَجَ is like أذهب, أخرج. You know the word dakhala, to enter. When I say adkhala, bimana to put something into another. Adkhaltu yadi fi jaybi. I place my hand in my pocket. Adkhala is to insert something, and dakhala is to go in yourself. Same way, walaja bimana to enter. Awlaja to make something enter. So awlaja means to put. So when he says fa awlaja fi baqayahu, so he put in the remaining of the waqad, the remaining of the fire, gusuna, branches. He put some firewood into the remaining fire. Mukibban. Mukibban here bimana hal, the hal of Sayyidina Umar. Mukibban, he was bent upon the fire. We have in the Quran mukibban ala waj'ihi. أفمن يمشي مكبا على وجهه أهدى أم من يمشي سويا على صراط مستقيم. We have a verse like that. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Mukibban, that is Surah Al-Mulk. Surah Al-Mulk, chapter 67, verse number 22. أفمن يمشي مكبا على وجهه أهدى أم من يمشي سويا على صراط مستقيم. He says, what is he who goes prone upon his face? Yani mukibban bimana to lie upon your face or to go face down. So Sayyidina Umar was mukibban. He was focused, bent on the pot. You know when you are cooking, the way you face upon the pot, that was how he looked like. La yuthabbituhu dukhanun. Thabbata is to impede. Thabbata, to impede, to delay, to block. La yuthabbituhu dukhanun. The flames, the smoke did not affect him, did not stop him, did not delay whatever he was doing. It never impeded him from his actions. You know, when you are cooking and the flames are coming up, you try to take off your face and stuff like that. No, Sayyidina Umar was mukibban. He was focused. He was bent upon the food, the pot. He says, La yuthabbituhu dukhanun tanawala min kharayhi wal uyuna. Minkhar is the nostril. Is the nostril. So when you hear min kharani or min kharaini, that is the nostrils, the two nostrils. Okay, so la yusabbituhu dukhanun tanawala. I've told you this qaida severally. Now when you hear this, when you see a noun that is indefinite and a sentence comes after that noun, that sentence is supposed to be the sifa, an adjective for the nakira, for the indefinite noun. So when he says la yusabbituhu dukhanun, a smoke does not stop him. A smoke, dukhanun, is nakira. The sentence tanawala min kharayhi wal uyuna becomes an adjective for the smoke. So it is describing the smoke. Which smoke? The smoke that enters his nostrils and eyes. That is the smoke that we are talking about. We are not just talking about, because the dukhan is indefinite, we need to bring a sentence to qualify it. Either we bring a one word to qualify it or bring a sentence. So the qaida we say, الجمل بعد النكرات صفات والجمل بعد الأحوال والجمل بعد المعارف أحوال. Again, الجمل بعد النكرات صفات والجمل بعد المعارف أحوال. When you find sentences coming after indefinite nouns, these sentences are adjective to that indefinite noun. And when you find sentences coming after definite nouns, those sentences are hal. They become the circumstantial clause for the particular word. So لا يثبته دخان تناول من خريه والعيون. Smoke that enters his nostrils and eyes does not impede what he was doing. Does not impede what he was doing. لا يثبته. The verb is ثبت. ثبت. To delay, to impede. Okay. And he says, يجيد الطبخ. He perfects cooking. تحريكا, in terms of stirring it, in terms of stirring the food. وغليا, and boiling the food. كأنك تشحذ الطاحية الفطينة. It is, when you look at him, it's as if you are looking at one master cook. When you look at him, it's as if you are looking at some skilled cook. He was very good at the cooking. فأنضجه. أنضج, the word is نضج. or nadija bimana to be ripe, to be ready. So when I say andaja bimana he made it ready. فَأَنْضَجَهُ he readied the food. وَنَحْنُ بِجَانِبَيْهِ and we were standing by him, the old woman and the children and Abbas, they were all by him. أَبَى إِصْرَارُهُ أَنْ يَسْتَعِينَ his resolution, his resolve, his insistence made him refuse to seek help. Israruhu yani he has insisted not to seek help. Aba israruhu an yasta'ina, he has insisted that he does not want any help. Wa asra'a, aba bimana to refuse, aba to refuse. It says wa asra'a, he hastened in cooking the food, in the indulge of the food, in readying the food. Asra'a, he hastened. Wal bashashatu mil'u fihi, and joy, bashasha, joy was filled up in his mouth. Fihi, fihi here could be fahu fihi min asma'il khamsa, min al asma'il khamsa, part of the 5 nouns. So it can be mil'u fihi ay famihi, mil'u famihi, and joy was filled up in his mouth. Or fihi, in him, he was filled with joy. بِتَلْقِيمِ الصِّغَارِ الْجَائِعِينَ, with feeding the little ones who are hungry. Talqim is from laqama. Laqama is to give luqma to. Luqma is morsel of food. Luqmatun, lam qaf mim ta marbuta. Luqmatun is a morsel of food. So when we say laqima, to swallow. Laqima, to swallow. Laqama, to give food to somebody, to make somebody swallow food. So bitalqim as-sighar al-ja'ina, he hastened and he was filled with, whilst being filled with joy. How filled with joy about what? Bitalqim as-sighar al-ja'ina, feeding the little ones. Ay asra'a bitalqim as-sighar al-ja'ina, he hastened to feed the hungry little ones. Wal bashashatu mil'u fihi, whilst being filled with happiness. Yatama ma hana ahadun alayhim, orphans, none has leaned to them. None has leaned to them. Hana ala bimana, to incline to lean towards somebody. Okay, these are yatama, orphans, who none has leaned towards them. Wala arafu siwahu aban hanuna, and they have known none aside Sayyidina Umar, who is just cooking for them, a father who is Hanun, yani a father who is compassionate, a father who is generous. So apart from what he's doing for them, they have never felt that kind of feeling of father, somebody being there for them. وَمَالَ إِلَى الْعَجُوزِ فَقَالَ, so he leaned towards the old woman and said, Mahlan, Mahlan, yani easy, take it easy. أقل اللوم والتزم السكون, reduce the blame. Yani اللوم is reproachment. Lawm, and you say lama yalumu, to reproach somebody. Okay, so when he says أقل اللوم, bimana reduce the rebuking that you are doing for Sayyidina Umar. You are insulting, cursing him, you are angry with him, reduce it. Okay, أقل اللوم, reduce the reproachment. والتزمي السكونة, and stay calm. So all the while she was angry at the leader that he doesn't care about them. And he says that sanazkuru lil amiri balaki inna, we would inform the Amir, that is Sayyidina Umar. All this while Sayyidina Umar is doing this thing, he didn't make her know it is him, because he was mutanakkir, he was hiding, he was working incognito. So we will mention bala aki, we will mention your bala, your calamity, to the Amir. Inna, indeed we, ila arshil amir, ila arshil imarati muntamuna, we are indeed affiliated. Muntamun bimana affiliated. we are indeed affiliated to the throne of the Imara, throne of the kingdom. So we would inform the Amir. Kafaki ka'abatan, enough of your sadness. Watawan, and hunger, starvation, tawan, starvation. Wasuhda, and sleeplessness. So from now, enough of your sadness. Ka'aba is severe sadness. Tawan, that is starvation. Wasuhda, and sleeplessness. It's over. Fanami mil'a jafniki wasbahina. Oh, sleep full of your eye. Yani sleep fully and wake up. Sleep fully and wake up comfortably. وَكَانَ غَدٌ لَدَى عُمَرَ رَحِيبًا. So they have given her food and her children, and they are telling her, we will inform the Amir of your problem. And from today, your sadness, your starvation, your sleeplessness is over. So sleep. Nami mil ajafniki. Sleep full of your eyelids. Fill up your eyelid with sleep. Wasbihina, and wake up comfortably. وَكَانَ غَدٌ لَدَى عُمَرَ رَحِيبًا عَلَيْهَا. And tomorrow with Umar was awful. Rahiban was awful upon her. How? The next day, وَكَانَ غَدٌ, the next day with Sayyidina Umar was ugly for her, was severe for her, was dreadful for her, was awful. Why was it so? حَيْثُ أَدْرَكَتِ الْيَقِينَ. Because she came to know the truth. Okay, she came to realize that this was Sayyidina Umar who was with me. The one who was cooking, carrying the food all the while was the Khalifa that I was insulting and cursing. Okay, so the next day was very dreadful, was very awful for her, upon her. حَيْثُ أَدْرَكَتِ الْيَقِينَ. Because she came to realize the truth. لَدَى Umar. With Umar. She came to realize the truth with Umar. وَقَدْ رَشَقَتْ سِهَامًا. Rashaqa, the verb is rashaqa, yani to throw, to hurl, H-U-R-L, to throw, to hurl when you are shooting an arrow or shoot. Okay. وَقَدْ رَشَقَتْ سِهَامًا مِنَ التَّنْدِيدِ. She had already shot arrows of condemnation. She had already shot arrows of condemnation at Umar. Because the night, tandid is from the verb naddada. The tandid is the masdar. She had already reproached, insulted, cursed, condemned Sayyidina Umar publicly in front of another. That is naddada, to mention somebody's flaws in public or in front of another person. Okay, so she had already thrown arrows of condemnation into Sayyidina Umar. Bata biha ta'ina. Bata biha ta'ina. He spent his night with these arrows in him, with these arrows jabbing him. Ta'ina, I being jabbed, being stabbed. Faya laka mawkifan harijan. What a situation, what a tight situation. Mawkifan harijan, a situation that you find yourself confined in, makes you guilty. Faya laka mawkifan harijan. What a tight situation. Tamannat li shiddati raw'iha alla takuna. She wished, due to the feeling of fear, alla takuna, that she was not even available. She wished, due to the severeness of the situation she found herself in, that she was not even around, she was not even available, or the situation didn't even happen at all. Because she's now discovering, that was the Khalifa, that was the Emir by me, and I was cursing and insulting him. And so she wished that this has never even happened. And he says here, وَلَكِنْ نَالَهَا مِنْهُ إِلْتِفَاتٌ نَفَى عَنْهَا التَّأَثُّرَ وَالشُّجُونَ. But then, as she was scared all this while, نَالَهَا مِنْهُ إِلْتِفَاتٌ. Iltifatun here bimana a care, attention. Iltafata, to turn to something, to turn to somebody. So when you say iltifatun, it comes with the meaning of care, attention. So an attention from Omar got to her. She was scared of the situation. She wished she was never even available. But then, in this fear, in this moment of fear, an attention and care, Sayyidina Umar gave her again, nafa anha ta'athura. Okay, took off her the feeling of being affected by the situation, was shujuna, and the sadness. Because when she realized this, she became very affected and she was also sad about the situation. But then Sayyidina Umar showed her some care again, and this care, nafa anha ta'athura was shujuna. It placed off her, it took off her the feeling of the feeling of being affected, and also the sadness she felt. فَأَجْزَلَ رِفْدَهَا بَعْدَ إِعْتِذَارٍ. So he gave her gift. أَجْزَلَ رِفْدَهَا. He gave her gift. بَعْدَ إِعْتِذَارٍ. After apologizing. وَبَدَّلَ شِدَّةَ الْأَيَّامِ لِينًا. And he substituted the severe days with soft ones. فَرَاحَتْ وَهِيَ تَرْوِي عَنْهُ عَدْلًا. So she went away narrating how just Sayyidina Umar is. She went around narrating how just he is, wa ihsanan, and how good he is, wa farta tuqa, and how excessive his piety is, wa dinan, and his religiosity. كذا كان الخليفة من قديم. That was how the Khalifa was. من قديم مثالا للملوك الصالحين. That was how the Khalifa was an example for the righteous kings in the olden times. Even today, if you want to be a very good leader, you have to follow the stories of Sayyidina Umar, and inshallah, you will learn very good traits of being a leader. Inshallah, this brings us to the ending of this episode, and we are done with the topic Umar ibn al-Khattab wa Banin. We are done with this topic. Anything that you didn't understand, any word in there, any expression in there you didn't understand, please do not hesitate to let me know in the comment section. Anything at all, any concern at all you want to put across to me, do not hesitate to put it in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like if you've benefited from these lessons, and don't forget to share for others to also benefit, and in that you also get the blessings thereof. If you've not subscribed also, do not forget to do so. Till we meet again, have a very good Arabic time. We meet next with the story of Imam Abu Hamid Al-Ghazali, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.